Today I bring you Berlin Pictures by Mark Steinmetz while I read the essay written by Thomas Wesky for the book. Mark Steinmetz's Berlin Pictures show us his perspective on our existence and how it is played out against the backdrop of this city. In his unmistakable photographic approach, he focuses on people and their world, capturing scenes that tell of life itself. He finds his subjects on the streets and in parks and urban transitional spaces. We see people who are withdrawn, introspective, deeply immersed in thought, older men and younger women, people waiting, pairs of lovers, young people and children at play. They all use public space, seemingly naturally and in their own ways, for transition, as a setting for activity or somewhere to pause or linger. Some pictures show details of urban architecture, often of a temporary nature and in a constant state of flux. Others, of a wall that still bears traces of bullet holes from the last World War, of a tree-lined roadway that now forms the center strip of a traffic-filled thoroughfare and is used only by people out strolling, point to the history and upheavals that this city and its inhabitants have lived through. Wild vegetation, bushes and weeds, show that these too are part of an urban environment that is subject to continually changing use and thus acquires new meaning. The image of a shoot as thick as an arm springing up from a tree stump is emblematic of self-assertion, new beginnings, and the ability to adapt to changes in the prevailing circumstances, as are the pictures of urban birds, sparrows, crows, and pigeons. The shots of people, in the main captured by the photographer in a fleeting moment, reveal striking coincidences. In his picture of two lovers waiting at a pedestrian crossing, Mark Steinmetz discovers a visual echo of their intertwined hands in the hands depicted on the sticker on the crossing post. On the street he spots a passerby with both arms encased in plaster casts. A man perched on top of a public telephone booth adopts the body position of Auguste Rodin's famous sculpture The Thinker, as he seems to contemplate the urban life unfolding at his feet. A solitary figure wearing a Mickey Mouse mask strides through the Brandenburg Gate, Germany's national political symbol, a photograph that raises questions about the significance this monument still has today and the nature of influences on public space. Although all these photographs were taken outside, in two of them the photographer turns his gaze from the street to interior spaces, where in one a woman and in the other a man are sitting waiting. Reflective window glass fuses a view of life inside the waiting areas with the world outside, creating images that show that people are an indivisible element of the urban landscape and thus fatally connected to it. When we view the images in this book, at some point we become aware that the city itself offered only the opportunity to take the photographs. Although the work is, of course, about Berlin and the urban stage and characters it provides, the pictures reach beyond what they directly depict to encompass life itself in all its originality and complexity. The crisis-induced restrictions of recent times have brought significant aspects of public life to a standstill. This has caused us to change our behavior, keep our distance from people, and exercise caution in our dealings with one another. As a result, visible manifestations of any form of spontaneity, physical closeness, and affection have disappeared from the public sphere. When we look at the pictures in this book with their focus on fundamental human themes, we feel particularly keenly the effects of this isolation and the enormous losses, not only social, that it brings. Some of these photographs astonish us with the coincidences they depict, some engage us with their seriousness, while others move us with the tender treatment of their motifs. Together they form another chapter in Steinmetz's life work, which makes us aware of the uniqueness and dignity of each individual person, the value of life and the fragility of existence.